What's good, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It's Capital J Productions, and I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna be discussing dreams in this video. Okay. Now, in the other videos, I've already talked about how important dreams are. What I'm gonna be talking about is just helping you guys distinguish like what your dreams mean. Now, of course, I can only give examples of myself, and of course everybody is different, so it's literally impossible for me to sit here and tell you like, okay, if you see this what this mean, or if you see that in the dream, that's what that means. Everybody's life is different, and you have to look at it from God's point of view. Okay, God is trying to he's trying to get in communication with you. This is how God communicates with his creation. A lot of people don't know this, but this is what it is. It's just what it is. It's either you believe it or you don't believe it. But God has direct communication with his creation, and this is how he chooses to, communicate with his creation. But what most people don't realize, many people don't realize, and it took me a while to figure this out, is that not only does God communicate with us, Satan actually communicates with us as well. A lot of people don't want to believe that, but it's just the facts. Okay. Now, the thing about dreams, what makes dreams so hard and so complicated, is trying to figure out, okay, which is which, who's trying to confuse you and who's trying to show you the right direction. Okay, now usually if you have dreams about, let's just say for instance, like for me, I use me for an example, right? Like right now, and I'm married, right? And I remember at one point I was having a lot of dreams about like my exes. Okay, a lot of dreams to try to remind me, like, just certain things that I like what you would get, like I'm a man, right? Of course I'm a man, of course I love sex, right? So like I noticed that the devil would use that from this previous ex to try to get me to go back. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's that type of stuff. Like, you don't, like, because for me, right, like once I move on, I move on. But Satan don't want you to move on, especially if you're doing good and he sees like, okay, I want him to go back to this ex because that ex was helping him, go in a different direction from God. Satan knows this. You need to know it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be aware of like what's really going on. Okay, so that's like one of the things you got to pay attention to when it comes down to like what exes, your dreams. A lot of the times God will use the past, he will use the present, and he will use the future in the dreams. Okay, the devil used a lot of scare tactics, scary dreams usually are from him. A lot of confusion in dreams is from him. He's the king of confusion. He's the king of deception. Okay, y'all, you gotta understand that he's the king of deception. And so now I think it's important that I explain to you guys why we hear from not only God, but we hear from Satan as well. Okay. Now, of course, if you believe in the Bible, you believe in the beginning, if you read Genesis, then you understand, like, in the beginning, how God created Adam and Eve, and then, they end up eating the forbidden fruit, and we've been cursed ever since. That's what I believe in. That's exactly why I believe that we hear from God and we hear from Satan. We've been cursed ever since then. Not only that, even if you read Jesus Christ's story, okay, he was tempted by Satan. He was given visions by Satan. So you got to ask yourself, okay, well, if he was able to tempt Jesus, okay, the best of the best, then you best to believe he's able to tempt us as well. Okay, because we're still God's creation. You have to remember that. We might not be as important as Jesus Christ was, but Satan is trying to gather. He's trying to gather as many people in hell with him as he possibly can. That's what all of this is about. Okay, so that's why it's important that he communicate to you. Okay, and God's reason for communicating with you is because he's trying to save you from yourself, from your desires, from just your ways. Okay, because he knows ever since he cursed us, now we have sin. We're born with sin, which means we're gonna want to do the bad stuff now. We're gonna want to, what you see a lot of now, like you see people, just kind of they're just hooked to bad stuff. Like they're hooked to toxic stuff. Like gossip. You see, gossip is big on YouTube. And God hates gossip though. He hates it because nothing good can come from it. It's usually some outside source that think they got an inside connection, and they reporting on something they really don't know about. So gossip can stir up a lot of bad stuff, and that's why God doesn't like gossip. So anyway, when it comes down to these dreams, it's usually coming between one or two entities, okay, which is usually God or Satan. Now it is your job to distinguish, okay, like who is good in my life, who's always been good to my life, and who's the people that's causing bad. Okay, and then pay attention to your dreams and see who's in your dreams most of the time. Then you can start figuring out, like, okay, which dreams is from where. There's so many examples that I can try to tell you guys, but it's really complicated. But I guess I'll use this example, a recent example that my wife, she just had a dream just last night, and she came to me. She didn't know what the dream was, and so I interpret the dream for her. I'm not gonna, obviously I'm not gonna tell what the dream is about, because that's between her and God, and I don't have, I didn't talk to her and see if it was okay for me to actually talk to her about that, that particular dream and the scenario. But what I can say is that the dream was about like things of her past, okay, something in her past, and it was basically just about something that came back from the past, and it was about like why she shouldn't do this particular thing that she was going to do, and how it can cause trouble. Okay, that's what the dream was. More of a warning dream. She didn't know what the dream means, but I explained to her and everything. I broke it down to her and she understood. Because you got to understand, when it comes to dreams, the best way to get really good at dreams is to read about Jesus Christ, because Jesus spoke in parables, and that's exactly how God speaks to us in these dreams. And parables are like examples, okay? They're just examples. They're like they can be complicated, but they can be broken down. Now I remember I was actually at one point when I was reading about Jesus and how he was, he was always giving parables. That's why a lot of people didn't have they didn't have an easy time understanding him, because he spoke in parables. And they just I mean, a lot of the stuff was so high caliber. Even to this day, some of the stuff is really hard to comprehend, even for today. But that's the reason why dreams are so hard and so complicated, because God always use a parable. He don't use, like, he won't just say like, okay, now there's instances where he will say like, just don't do this. Like I remember me and my wife, we was going gambling. I'll share this with you guys real quick. But we would go gambling every now and then. We had found this casino and we liked it. It was just for fun. It wasn't like anything serious, but Of course, I knew the word. I knew we wasn't supposed to be gambling, but I went anyway with my wife because, you know, she really enjoyed it. It was really for her, but I enjoyed it as well. And at one point, it came. God spoke to me in a dream. He said, "You can't go, like, don't go gambling no more. Like, no more gambling." And he showed me a reason why. You know, he showed me reason why, like, I shouldn't gamble. He was showing me, like, you don't know where that money come from. A lot of times it comes from a bad source, and then it can get linked to you, and then you end up paying for it. That's what the dream pretty much was saying in it was saying in this dream. But yeah, usually if God really wants you to know something, he will flat out tell you, like in English or whatever your native tongue is, your main tongue is, he will tell you that. But you got to understand, you know, God is he's a mastermind. He's great at what he does. You know, he really is. And you have to study him. You have to study how he communicates. Because I remember he told me in a dream in English, he told me in dream that he was going to teach me his language. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know he had his own language, you know, like I did not know. And he shared that to me in a dream. And I believe he's still in the process of teaching me how he communicates his language. Because the devil has his own language, and I understand that language as well. He taught me that language, and God has his own language. But you can't learn none of these things if you don't have a personal relationship with God. You know, it's impossible, because nobody really knows this stuff exists unless you have a personal relationship with God. So that's why I'm sharing these videos, to try to tell you guys, you know, the importance of establishing a relationship with God. And so you can learn what these dreams mean, because these dreams can save your life, I'm telling you. And matter of fact, that reminds me of what I was talking about in the other video, how I knew somebody from Facebook. I'm gonna share that little story, and then that's it. I'm gonna be gone. But of course, if you guys have any questions, concerns, always, you know, comment, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? You can get in touch with me. You know, my website is there. It's Capital J Productions. The links is right there. You can easily get in touch with me, okay? And I'll respond when I can. But yeah, let me share this story with you guys. It's real quick. I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. I know I'm at 12 minutes, but it was this guy that I knew, okay? Actually, I was dating his sister, and of course I didn't know him before. I was dating his sister, and then, you know, I came over to her house, then I met her brother. It was like that, you know. He was a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? But I knew he was gay. He was gay, okay? Right when I met him, I knew he was gay. You know, just how he act. He did a lot of girl stuff or whatever. But he was one of those type of guys. He was a down low type of guy, right? Like, he gang banged and everything. But he was a cool guy, you know. I hung around him a few times. Really cool guy. Great head on his shoulders. Very smart. Really, really good guy. But anyway, one day, okay, this was after my relationship with his sister was over. Okay, this was like some years later. I had broke up with his sister, but me and him was still friends. You know, it was almost like a family type of vibe. Me and him was still friends on Facebook, right? And so one day, I didn't really talk to him that often, because of course, you know, if I don't talk to, you know, his sister and his family and stuff, I'm not gonna talk to him. But anyway, one day on Facebook, he posted about how he had this dream. He had a dream that he got killed, okay? And I remember the Facebook post. I'll never forget this, okay? And in that post, he rebuked that dream in the name of Jesus Christ, okay? He rebuked it on Facebook, okay? And I'm like, oh my, when I seen it, I'm like, oh snap, he got the wrong meaning. Like, it don't mean you rebuke the dream. It don't mean that dream is lying. It's actually a warning dream, right? But I got busy, my life, I was in a different place. But I knew, once I read the post, I'm like, oh, that's not a dream that you rebuke. But he was young, of course. But let me share a little bit, okay, a little bit of his story, okay. without saying too much. Okay, his situation, he was a down low guy, he was gay, and he was dealing with this other guy that was a down low gay guy. And I guess he really liked the guy, but the guy didn't take him serious. He was cheating on him and doing all this other stuff, okay, that he didn't like. So, because he was posting all of this stuff on his Facebook, you know, that's how I kind of knew. You know, I would see it, and, you know, every now and then just kind of scan through it like, you know, just drama, typical drama, right? And so but then he posted that warning, you know, that he posted that warning dream that he had. And I think within like 2 or 3 weeks later, he was dead. He got killed by that guy because he was gonna come out, and he pretty much outed the guy. You know, he outed him because he didn't like what he was doing. You know, he was cheating, and, you know, so he outed him, like he, you know, pretty much just put his business, you know, all out on Facebook and stuff. And it was pretty messy. And next thing you know, like 2 or 3 weeks after that, he was dead. Guy killed him, shot him. And yeah, I ended up talking to his sister later on about that. And, you know, I wish I could have talked to him, though. I wish I had a chance to, you know, to try to. I don't think he would have listened to me, but I wish I could have had that chance. I should have stopped myself and was like, hey, bro, that dream you had, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't, you know, that's a warning dream, bro. That's not, you know, what you think it. That's not from the devil. You can't rebuke truth. You can't rebuke, you know, what God is showing you. You can't. If it's truth, you can't do anything about it. And that's what I'm saying. You have to learn the difference, you know, between who's saying what. So that's why I'm telling you guys this stuff is, if he would have known that it was from God and that it was a warning dream about him, like, just let it go. Don't out this dude. Just go find you somebody else. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about it. Let God handle it. You know what I'm saying? But he took matters into his own hands, and it cost him his life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It's not that serious. But relationship stuff, I'll talk about it, you know, later on. But anyway, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. And I'll see y'all later. I hope that this video has helped you in some type of way, some type of form. I don't care if you're gay, straight, lesbian, whatever. Get you a relationship with God, okay? That's going to get you closer to him. He's going to get you right. Don't worry about all the rest. He's just going to get you right. You know what I'm saying? Because if you love yourself, if you care about yourself, you'll do it. Don't do it for nobody else. Do it for yourself, okay? All right, I'm out of here. This is Capital J Productions. God bless you. I hope y'all learned something. Get in contact with me if you need to. And that's all I have for this video. All right, bye-bye.